Scott. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about your experience at the clinic. Can you just let me know, or let the people that are watching us, let them know how you first heard about me?
First heard about you through my sister Dawn Schmidt, and then my wife Corinne Roth, and just watched what progressed with them. I know my sister had a lot of problems with her back, and my wife also with back and arm problems, and I didn't really know if I was a believer or not, because I've never experienced any other practices that have done anything on myself. So when I couldn't move my arms anymore and was having problems with my shoulders, I thought that instead of going to see a doctor, that this would be a good alternative, and I'm glad I made that choice.
So we saw Dawn, we saw your wife, and then we actually saw your son too.
Right, George also comes, yeah.
And they did pretty well, so you were getting a little bit more confident.
Right.
And then you started developing a problem with your arms. Actually, it's been there for a while, right?
It has been for about 6 to 8 months, and I just kept on putting it off, thinking that it would rectify itself. That I've had other problems in the past with my back and stuff, and I thought, well, if I just give it some time, that maybe it'll eventually just fix itself, and I'll carry on. But I guess I'm older now, and that wasn't the case. It was just kept on getting worse, and something had to be done. Whether I give this my first choice because I'm not a big believer in medication, and so I thought I'd just give it a try. And it's been 2 months now, and I just can't believe the difference.
So what were things like before we started treating you? Like over the space of that previous 6 months or so, what was happening?
Well, right at the end before I showed up, I couldn't even lift a coffee cup. I was in so much pain. There was pain throughout my one arm, and it would switch sides. So if I would try to do anything with my arms at all, there was no way.
And what part of the arm were you getting the symptoms in?
The whole arm, right from the shoulder right down to the wrist.
And then it was just hard to lift a coffee cup? So.
Couldn't even do it without any pain.
Okay. And was that pretty worrisome?
Yeah, it was, for sure. I was looking at taking some time off work. I thought for sure that I was looking at at least a few months off minimum, because I just couldn't perform our duties at work anymore, and they're not that strenuous, and I was limited in what I was able to do.
So that's actually pretty serious by this point, that the problem, when you're thinking of taking time off work, and even a couple months you were thinking, right? So
very, very worrisome financially, for sure. I'm looking at a lot of lost revenue.
Right.
Whether I'm sure I could have had some benefits, but not near what my wage was, and the time lost is I'm getting down towards the end of my career, and my pension's a big concern. And if I lose time like that, I am working on my best, what they call 5 in the 85 factor in our pension plan.
Yeah.
And if I was to have to stop that and then lose that time, if it was even for 6 months or longer, then I'd be looking at starting my best 5 over, where I almost have my best 5 in.
All right. So that was another factor that weighed into it too, that you weren't able to work well and so forth. And then you started under care, and it wasn't a miracle, obviously.
No.
It took some work, and that's what I had said at the initial. It was going to be some time before you started to get better, right?
You did say that, and I wasn't expecting miracles. I thought it took a lot of time to get like that, and I was willing to be patient. And as it turned out, I didn't have to be that patient. It took a lot less time than what I originally thought. So I was quite surprised.
And what was some of the first improvements that you started noticing?
That I was able to actually lift small items and lift my right arm above my head for the first time in a couple months. I wasn't able to do that, but to actually lift, whether it be my coffee cup or anything like that, which I wasn't able to do before, there was still some notice of pain, but it wasn't near what it was. And it just gradually kept on getting better and better.
And we started to see those improvements come on, I'm not sure exactly, was it 2 or 3 weeks into the program?
About 3 weeks,
About 3 weeks
is when I really noticed it.
Okay. And since that time frame, you've been steadily improving.
Right.
And now how do you feel today? This is about this is about 8 weeks in the program, I guess.
Well, I'm not back to 100%. I'm probably maybe 75 of what I was.
Okay.
But even within that time frame, I would have never expected to be at 75%.
Right.
And so I feel like losing the use of my arms for probably 6 to 8 months. It's going to take some time to even build it back up to my muscle mass to where they were. So 75%, I'm really surprised at that even.
Good. And well, 75% improvement is actually quite good. So we're pleased with that. But do you feel like there's more improvement to be had, or do you feel like you've maxed out and that's it?
I feel I can go back to 100%.
Okay.
That's how confident I am with what you're doing with myself. I haven't felt this good in a long time. I've even feel better mentally. I've changed the way I eat because I'm feeling better. There's no pain when I wake up in the morning, and I feel like I can get back to 100%
Wow.
within, I'm sure within short order.
Well, that's great.
That is great.
Yeah, but happy to hear that, and I'm really glad to see the improvement in there. I've been doing this for 17 years, and I never get tired of seeing the improvement that people experience under chiropractic care. So.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be pretty gratifying to be able to help people like that. Because myself, not being a believer, I mean, I was a skeptic, but I can't say enough for what you've done for myself, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, because I'm sure that there's somebody out there with a problem similar to yours who is wondering, what can I do about it?
Well, and I think the thing to be is patient. I mean, like you said, you're not gonna come in here and change within a few treatments. Pardon me, but I think if you're patient, I'm shocked at the 3 weeks, but I was willing to give it 6 months if I had to, and feel the gradual improvement. But it wasn't like that at all. It was pretty fast. But I'd hate to see someone walk out with only getting just a few treatments and thinking it's going to be an overnight success. The way I feel now, like I said, I can't thank you enough.
I appreciate that very much, and thanks again for talking with us.
Thank you.